Welcome back. In video 2 of Google Analytics 101, I'm going to walk you through the homepage. Before I do, I just wanted to point out to you, I'm actually using the Google demo version of analytics to take you through today, and I will include the link to this. It's accessible by anybody, so you can go in and have a look at it yourself, have a play around. If you haven't already set up your own Google Analytics, it might be a great way for you just to get a feel for it yourself, and then you'll, I think, feel a little bit more confident about setting up your own and be clear on what you'll be looking for. So to start with, we've got these little signposts throughout the page that help, I guess, answer some questions for us. So this is just quite easily stating that this is the home page. And in this top box here, what we've got is some very high level statistics based on the last 7 days. This is saying how many users have been on the site, what the revenue has been for the last 7 days, the conversion rate on that site, and then this actual sessions. So users is unique, whereas sessions might be, I might be one user, but I might have 2 sessions. So that's why sessions is generally always higher than users. Not always, generally on low traffic sites it might equal the same, but generally speaking sessions are higher than users. Now, revenue, you can assign goals that will help track revenue. So we won't go into any in-depth review of that in this training today. However, it is certainly possible, and I highly recommend it if you have an e-commerce site. You absolutely want to set up those goals so you can track your online sales, and that will also generate that conversion rate for you. You can also set up goals based on filling out a lead form. So if you're wanting to capture inquiries, lead generation, then you can also do that as a goal, and that will help, it will track that conversion rate for you as well. Now, you'll see that we can click on here and change out the period. It could be a day. It could be, in this case, I've changed it to 28 days. And just so you know, the dotted line is the comparable period prior. So, and you'll see when I hovering there right now, you can see May 6th versus Monday, April, the 8th of April. So it's day of week, not necessarily the date. So one's 6 May, the other one's 8 April. So just making sure you keep track of that if you are going to compare periods, that you know that you're comparing days of week. Or if you want to compare specific dates, then you can set that parameter around it. So the dotted line is the older period, and the strong line is the one that is live now that we're looking at. Now you'll see in the bottom right hand corner here, it has audience overview, and you could just click off to that. And another way would be to get over to all the sub menus under audience over here. So Google has set this up essentially under audience, acquisition, and behavior. And I think it's probably worthwhile me just taking you through this quickly. In Google's world of customer, I guess, acquisition, they have the funnel, and you've probably all seen an advertising funnel. It can be a sales funnel. There's various funnels out there, but essentially what they're saying is at the top of the funnel, it's about awareness, and then by the time you get to the bottom of that funnel, it should be a conversion, and hopefully also leading them to a customer advocate as they look at your customer over lifetime value. With Google, they have the top of the funnel identified as their acquisition, which is driving awareness, acquiring new users. That's essentially what you're going to find under this information. And then under behavior is how they're engaging with your business or with your website. And then conversions, as you would expect, is the actual goals that you set up. So whether that's they've actually completed an online form and driven an inquiry, or they've made a purchase online, whatever your conversions or conversion requirements are for your website. And then up here at this broader level where we're at the moment, that's all your audience information. So who are they, where do they live, etc. And we'll step through that in more detail shortly. So I just thought it's very important that you understand that this is actually a funnel, all these three in particular. This is your audience statistics, and then this is the funnel. So the top of the funnel, the middle of the funnel, the bottom of the funnel. So that relates, this particular snapshot is relating to your audience overview. Now you'll have a little prompt here by Google. How do you acquire users? So this is traffic channel. You can click on source, medium, and then referrals. So traffic channel is telling you at a high level, I guess, if you like, what's come through organic. So your unpaid channels, any referral traffic. So that might be if you have a backlink from other websites, it could be identified as a referral traffic. A direct is when someone literally types in your URL as opposed to finding you through search or through an ad or through an email campaign. Here's paid search, and then you've got other, and depending on how you've got things set up, your email campaigns would be displayed in your acquisition as well. So there's consistency here in that you can change out your days to what you'd like to look at there, and you can click off to the acquisition report, or you can access through the sub-menus in here as well. And then if we click on source/medium, that tells us that our Google organic traffic, direct is the typing in the URL specifically. This is showing an actual email. So that's the source, is the email campaign. And this is a CPC, so that would be an ad campaign with Google, and then other. So anything that's not captured under what you've got defined there would be sitting in other. And then referrals. So MAUs come up there as well. So you'd want to make sure that you're not counting the traffic twice. Analytics, that's not normal. I'd say it's because we're in this demo site. And then you've got some stuff coming through from YouTube and from Google. So that's a really good just little snapshot that you can flick through quickly to have a look at as well. Then if we move down, we've got here, how are your active users trending over time? So ideally, we want to see an increase in our users as opposed to going backwards or just staying the status quo, particularly if we are ramping up activity, whether that's we're doing more email marketing or you're actually doing some paid advertising. You would want to start to see some spikes in that traffic. And you can see there you've got monthly, weekly, daily, if we just run that across there. Again, you can change out your days for the period, and then you can click through to an active users report through here. And then how well do you retain your users? So this just gives you a little retention over time. So that's your time period. And then this is during week 1, 100% retention. Obviously, it's a week-long period. And then over here, it's saying 5% retention. And as to be expected, that retention is decreasing over time. And if you wanted to, once again, you can go and change that time period, and you can also go off to that specific report to dive into that a little bit deeper. So these are like your executive summaries, if you like. And then if you wanted to dive into a bigger report, you can click on these or access them over here on your left-hand menu. Now, this is really insightful as well. When do your users visit? So this gives you day of week and time of day. So if you have a look down the bottom, we've got Sunday through to Saturday, and then we've got from, I guess, the morning through to the evening. And you can tell the darker blue is when you've got more people on your site. And again, you can change that period to have a look at, if you want to compare 7 days, 30, 90, and just see if you see much change over that time. It's worthwhile having a look if it's consistent or whether it does change a lot. And you would expect that when you send out an email campaign, that's going to drive traffic to your site and therefore influence. And you'd like to say, be pretty confident that that's going to result in some dark blue sections on your site. So say you tend to schedule your email campaign to go out on a Tuesday at 10 a.m., then you would expect Tuesday, 10 a.m. around here to be a dark blue. If it wasn't, then you would know then that your email is not getting opened and it's not getting read. People aren't clicking through. So that's a great little bird's eye view of activity on your website. Might also show if you don't have a chatbot on your site that you might want to add one to facilitate after-hour inquiries and things like that if you were getting sufficient traffic. This one here, where are your users? So lovely little map of the world. And this is saying the majority is coming out, well, this, what is it, 46.28% of this traffic is coming out of the US. And then the second largest market is India and UK and so forth. So that just shows you I guess the most prominent markets. And again, you can go and dive into that deeper, and you can also change that period. And then here, this is what are your top devices. So this means what devices are people using when they are viewing your website. So if you don't already have a mobile friendly website, you need to jump on that, because essentially you're getting penalized by Google if you don't already have one. So this will tell you how many people are looking at your site from a desktop, from a mobile device, or from a tablet. And again, you can change the time, and then you can dive into that a little bit more. You can even look into the technology and the browser usage. So there's quite a bit of information there, right there on this homepage. This is important. What pages do your users visit? And that's just going to give you your top, I think that's top 10 in there. But when you go into the reporting, you can expand that out. You could do top 20, top 50, whatever amount you want to have a look at, depending on how big your website is. And this might just either reconfirm what you already think are popular pages, or it might conversely highlight some concerns where you think you would have expected some more traffic that it's not even ranking. Once again, you can change the time period, and you can dive into that report more directly from there. And then also over here, how are you performing against goals? So again, this will only be valid for you if you've actually set up goals. So as I mentioned earlier, that can be e-commerce goals. So when there's a transaction on your site, it might be when someone has got to checkout but they didn't complete checkout, so they've abandoned cart. It could be, like I said before, you have a lead form, so an inquiry form. It might be they've abandoned on that page, and you could also have one for yes submitted. So they're the different kind of goals that you could set up, and it gives you how many have happened. If you do have a dollar value surrounding those, so a transaction value, then that can be pulled through, and then you've got a conversion rate as well. If you're selling e-commerce, then it does pull through what your top selling products are. And I would say if you're selling online, your platform that you use, whether it's Shopify or Neto or WooCommerce, they would also provide you with this information. But I think it's great that you can still have a look at it from Google here as well, and just even check your platform reporting against the Google Analytics reporting, make sure there's not too much disparity. If you are doing Google Ads, then this is going to give you that overview of your ad performance down here, and then you would click off to your ad campaigns. So ad campaigns do not sit within analytics. You would find that you'll be taken out of analytics over to Google Ad. Well, they're calling it Google Ads now, not Google AdWords. So that's your home page, and in the next video, I'm going to take you through these key items here over in the left-hand menu.